And welcome back to another Access 72 interview. In today's video I'm back with another interview here with Tony Bange. Tony, how are we?
I'm good, guys.
Great,
Thanks for
great.
having me.
Yes, it is a privilege. Thank you very much for coming on the channel, mate.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
so am I right in saying you're a 32-year-old super welterweight who's 10-1?
That's right, yeah.
Great, okay. And if you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like video, and let's get straight into it. So, I'm going to start off with the question which you always like to start off with. Why did you start boxing?
I'll be honest, it was sort of like a family tradition to do a fighting sport.
Mm-hmm.
My father was a boxer and I followed in his footsteps.
That's great. That's good to hear. And so, would you say that your father is a big inspiration for you then?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Great.
Probably the main reason I got into boxing.
Great. And so, do you remember what happened in your first amateur fight?
Yeah, I remember it's not the best of experiences,
Okay.
but it's really nerve-wracking.
Mm-hmm.
I went straight into amateur boxing as a senior, so I never had no juniors.
Mm-hmm.
So to be matched up straight away, I thought the guy was a lot older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was intimidating, but it was good to get in there, and see what it was all about.
Definitely. And so, throughout your whole amateur period, what was your biggest achievement?
I didn't stay amateur long, to be honest. I think
Okay.
I had about 15, 20 amateur fights,
Okay.
but it was all sort of in the counties.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went into unlicensed boxing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, how many unlicensed fights did you have?
I had a lot of unlicensed
Yeah.
fights. I had nearly 30 unlicensed fights.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, did you kind of just prefer the style of the unlicensed fights to the amateurs?
Yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it was very similar to being professional in
Mm.
the fact that you would learn how to sell tickets, you was getting exposure.
Yeah.
You wasn't wearing a head guard, and
Mm.
you was wearing like you wasn't wearing the amateur padded gloves. You was wearing proper fight gloves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely. And so, why did you end up turning professional when you did?
I got recognized by someone, and they said that it would be a great idea for me to turn over pro and see how I get on.
Mm-hmm.
So I took a gamble at it and said, okay, let's try, and it's been going well.
It has indeed. I mean, like I said, 10 wins so far, and so out of them 10 victories, which one would you say you've performed your best in?
I would say that I performed my best against was it Kevin McCauley,
Mm-hmm.
as he was a very experienced journeyman. He's a good amateur as well, and he's very tough.
Mm-hmm.
And he did not come to do the journeyman role. He came to actually win. So I
Yeah.
was having a proper fight with a
Mm-hmm.
very experienced veteran,
Mm-hmm.
and it brought the best out of me.
That's great. And so, well, you have suffered the singular defeat, but you managed to bounce back very well. And so, how tough was it to bounce back from that defeat?
I would have bounced back quicker, but
Mm-hmm.
because of the COVID and
Mm-hmm.
everything, we
Yeah.
had a bit of a layoff. I think the gap staying out the ring and not being active, it basically put me back a few steps.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a new manager, coach, promoter,
Yeah.
Dean White. He's pushed me really quickly and got me back up to speed. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I feel confident in myself again, ready to ready to get some serious wins.
Mm-hmm. Good to hear. And so you said that you're working with Dean White there, and I mean he's a big guy in the boxing sport, a well-known guy. And so what's it like working with him?
It's great. He's a very good friend of mine. Taught nearly every day,
Mm-hmm.
and he's very knowledgeable about boxing. Although he does a lot of the commentating and the talking, he really knows he's fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great advantage to have someone that has been an ex-fighter,
Yeah.
been around all good fighters, and mentored a lot of the champions that are about now.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the boys that have got titles at the moment were all at some point around Dean.
Definitely. And so, well, I mean, you said that you've kind of been around the boxing sport for quite a while now. And so, what would you say is your main kind of motivation at the moment?
I wanted to capture it. It was always a dream of mine to capture a title,
Mm-hmm.
and that's probably the thing that pushing me most to achieve it.
Definitely. And I mean, with every fight, you're getting closer, and now you've got a fight for the 11th of February booked in. And so, how's preparations been going for that?
It's been difficult, but I've
Okay.
had a lot on at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been training, juggling my business. Had family problems, been helping with that as well. So it hasn't been. I wouldn't say it's been the worst camp. It could have
Mm-hmm.
been better, but it hasn't been bad.
Okay. Okay. And so, do you happen to know who your opponent is yet, or not yet?
Yes, I've been told he's undefeated.
Okay.
He's flying in. He's a foreigner, undefeated record, and we've got to fight him over 8 rounds.
Okay, wow. So is this your first 8 rounder, if I'm right in saying?
Yeah, well, it's the first time I'm fighting undefeated fight, and the
Mm.
first time I'm fighting 8 rounder.
Big step up. And so, for anybody who's not watched you fight before and might be wanting to come and watch this fight, what would you say kind of makes you interesting as a fighter?
I'm very calculated,
Mhm. Mhm.
so I'm very I try to keep the fight very fundamentally sound, if you know what I mean.
Definitely, that's
But,
always
yeah.
important. To have the fundamentals down. Yes, and so for I mean, you are and you have spoke about how you want titles, and that's your kind of main aim at the moment. And so, how far do you believe you can go?
Uh, well, until I don't look past what I'm trying to achieve.
Mhm.
So once I capture my title, I'll look at the next step because I
Mhm.
don't like to run before you walk, they say.
Of course.
But I would like to capture quite a few titles and hopefully one day challenge for a world title. But I think getting the first step done is probably gonna make me realize what I'm getting myself into.
Definitely, definitely. And so, I'll leave you with this final question, which you always like to ask. You've got a little bit of a platform here. Would you like to shout anything out?
Yes, guys. First of all, thanks for having me.
It was a pleasure.
Would like to say a big thank you to Octagon Sports who sponsor me. I just signed a new sponsorship with Northern Travel Services, so thank you for them for sponsoring me. I've got Crunk Clothing that sponsor me. Thank you guys for sponsoring me. I've got the Atlas Group who've been with me since the start of my amateur days. They've always been there, so thank them very much. I've got a friend who's got a company called 5 Star Windscreens. He sponsors me as well. And thank you to everybody that comes out and buys tickets and supports. Like it really helps. It really means a lot. Big shout out to Black Box Global, my management and promotional company. They look after me a lot. Big thank you to Dean. He's always got my back. He's a good friend. And yeah, just big up yourself, guys. Thank you. And I really appreciate all the support.
Definitely, great, great. And so maybe a little bit further along down the line, we can come back and do a return interview.
I'd love to. Thanks for having me. It means a lot. The support of all the social media platforms is great. Thanks, guys.
Great, thank you very much for doing this, mate. And so if you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like the video, and thanks for